We begin now at the top of Daf Lamed Tes Samad Aleph in Maseches Brachos. This is Berachos Daf 39a. The Gemara just finished discussing the fact that Rabbi Yochanan made a bracha achrona when he ate a zayis maliach, a salted olive, and the Gemara asks that if the olive includes a pit, and of course he's not eating the pit, so in order to make a bracha achrona, you really need a kazayis, but an actual zayis missing the pit is not a kazayis large. So the Gemara asks, Batzar le shiura, the shear is a little bit smaller than the kazayis needed. Amar Lei said to him, Mi savrit kazayis gadol be'inan. Do you think that you need to eat a large kazayis to make a bracha achrona? Kazayis beinoni be'inan. You only need a kazayis beinoni. V'hahu da'aisu l'kamei de Rabbi Yochanan. And that olive that was brought before Rabbi Yochanan, zayis gadol havi, was a large zayis. De'af agav d'shaklu l'gari nuse, that even though you take away its pit, posh le shiura, the shear of a beinoni kazayis, of an average size olive, still remains. The Tanan we learned in the Mishnah, zayis sha'amru lo katan v'lo gadol el beinoni. When we talk about a kazayis, we're not talking about a small one or a large one, we're talking about a medium size. V'zehu agure, and this is called an agure. V'amar Rabbi Avo lo aguri shemo ela avrute shemo. Rabbi Avo said it wasn't called an aguri, it was called really an avrute. V'amri lo samruse shemo. Some say it was called a samruse. V'lama nikra shemo aguri, but why was it referred to as aguri? Shasham no agur besocho, that its oil is contained within it. Rashi explains what that means. Rashi here says agur besocho mizumin lotzeis mimenu. The oil is ready and it's like ready to come out. She'ino nivla b'pri. It's not absorbed in the pri kamashke tapuchim vetusim ela agur kamashke anavim. It's not similar like apples and other things where the mashke is absorbed inside. Rather, it's more like grapes where the oil is ready to come out. So the Gemara now says, Neima ketanoi. Let us say that this is a machlokas tanoim. The Gemara here is referring to the issue of what bracha is made on cooked vegetables, on shalakos. So the Gemara now wants to suggest that that's actually machlokas tanoim. Tehanu trei talmidi de havayasvi kame de bar kapara. There were two students who were sitting in front of bar kapara. Heviu lefanav kruv v'dormaskin upargios. They brought before him cabbage, and they brought before him dormaskin, which Rashi explains is afhein shalakos me'esav shekarna kaldishit. This is some kind of a cooked grass, so it's cooked vegetables. And pargios, Rashi says, is besar of. So it's some kind of chicken. So they brought before him essentially these cooked vegetables and also some pargios, some kind of chicken. Nasan bar kapara rishus la'echad mehen levarich. So bar kapara, there was these two students, and bar kapara gave permission for one of them to lead in making the bracha. Kafatz uveirach ala pargios. So he jumped and he made his bracha on the chicken. Ligleg alav chavero, and his friend laughed at him. He scorned him. Koas bar kapara, and so bar kapara got angry. Amar, he said, Lo alam avarech ani koas. I'm not angry at the person who made the bracha. Ela al hamelagleg ani koas. I'm angry at the person who was making fun. Im chavercha doma kamisha lo tam tam basar me'olam. If your friend seems to be somebody who has never tasted meat, meaning the reason why he's making the bracha on meat is because it's chashiv to him. Ata al malig laktolov. What are you laughing about? Chazar v'yamar, but then he changed his mind and he said, Lo ala melagleg ani koes. I'm not angry at the person who made fun. El ala mevarech ani koes. But rather I'm angry at the person who made the bracha. V'yamar, and he said, Im chachma in kan zikne in kan. If there's no wisdom here, then there's no wisdom of old age here either. Tanan was taught in a brayso, so shneim lo hotziu shenasan. Neither Talmud, both Talmidim, they did not live out the year. So the Gemara now wants to suggest what's the machlokas between the two Talmidim. My lav b'hakam iflagi. Is it not that they're arguing about the following issue? The mevarich savar shalakos upargios shakol niyebid varo. So the person who was making the bracha holds that both the cooked vegetables and the pargios and the meat, they're both a shahakol. Hilka chaviv adif. Therefore he made a bracha on the chicken, on the meat, because it was more beloved to him. Umalaglik savar shalakos bori priadama. But the person who was making fun held that shalakos are bori priadama. Pargios shakol niyebid varo. Pargios are shahakol. Hilkach, therefore, peira adif, that it's better to make the bracha on the fruit, because it's better to make a bori priadama before the shahakol. So the Gemara answers, Lo, no, dekuli alma shlakos upargios shahakol niyebid varo. Everybody really agrees that it's shahakol on both. But here what they're arguing about is the following. Mar savar chavivad. If one says that you should make a bracha on that which is more beloved first, so that's why he made a bracha on the pargios. Mar savar kruvad. If the other one said no, it's better to make it on the either the cabbage or the carob. It's better to make it on that, the zayin, because that gives sustenance, and therefore the thing that gives you sustenance is the thing that should get the bracha. There's the thing that should get the bracha first, rather than the thing that is chaviv. Amar Rabbi Zeir says, Ke'avin and Bei Rav Huna, when I was by the house of Rav Huna, Amar Lon, he said, Hani gargalide de lifta. So gargalide de lifta is the heads of turnips. Parminhu frima rabba bori priadama. If you cut them, you mince them into larger pieces, you make a bori priadama. Frima zuta, but if you do it into finer pieces, shahakol niyabid varo, you make a shahakol. V'chiason levei Rav Yehuda. When we came to the house of Rav Yehuda, Amar Lon, he said to us, Idi v'idi bori priadama. In both situations, it's bori priadama. V'hai de farminu tvei. The reason why you're cutting it up more, ki hechi denam tiktami, actually gives it a sweeter taste. The Gemara initially, according to the first opinion, the Gemara understood that when you're cutting it up very fine, it loses its status as a bori priadama. But Rav Yehuda said, no, you're actually making it that it should be sweeter that way, so it retains the bracha of Borei Pri Adama. Amar Rav Ashi said, Ki Avin and Bei Rav Kahana, when I was at the house of Rav Kahana, Amar Lon, he said, Tavshila de Silka, if you have a cooked item of beets, de lo mafshu ba kimcha, where there's not much flour, Borei Pri Adama, then it stays with its bracha of Borei Pri Adama. But the lifta, if you have this bracha, if you have this regarding turnips, de mafshu ba kimcha, so in this cooked dish of turnips, you have a lot of flour, the mafshu ba kimcha tfei, you have more flour, Borei minei mizonos, then the bracha is a mizonos. But then he said, no, Idi v'idi bor pri adama. Actually, both of them are bor pri adama. V'hai the shadi b'kim chatvei. The reason why you have more flour in the second case is lidevuke be'alma avdila. It's just to hold it all together. And if the flour is just to hold it together, it does not change its bracha to a bori minei mizonos. Amar Rav Chisda says, Tavshil shel tardin yafel alei v'tov le'nayim. If you have a cooked item of beets, it's good for the heart and it's good for the eyes. V'kol shekain lefnei me'ayim, and it's good for the intestines, certainly. Amar Abai said, V'hu de Yosef abei tapi v'avid tuch. He says this is true only if it's cooking well on the stove, that it's making the sound of the cooking, is the tuch is the sound that it makes. Amar Rav Papa says, Pshita li, it is obvious to me, Maya de silka kesilka. If you have water which beets was cooked in, then it has the same bracha as the beets. So Maya de lifta kalifta, the same with turnips. If you have water that turnips are cooked in, it is the same bracha. Umaya de kulu shalki kakulu shalki. This is true of all cooked vegetables. Boy Rav Papa, but Rav Papa asked the following question: Maya de shivsa mai. What about if you have water of shivsa? Rashi says that shivsa is a yerek which shenosnin ma'at b'kedera lamesek bi'alma v'lo la'achlo. You're putting in just a little bit of vegetable to make it sweet, but it's not really that you're trying to eat the vegetable per se. So what's the halacha in such a case? Limituke taima avdi. Is it to make the taste sweet? O lavure zuama avdila. Or is it really just to take away kind of the bad taste, but it's not there to sweeten, to improve it, in which case it does not get a bor pri adama. So Tashma, we're going to bring a proof. Hasheves mishenit natam b'kedera ein ba misham truma ve'ena metama tumas ochlim. So the Mishnah says that this vegetable, which you're just putting a little bit into the kedera, once it gives a taste to the pot, so the actual leftover sheves, the leftover vegetable, is considered just like Rashi says in eitz bi'alma. It's no longer considered a fruit or a vegetable. It's just considered like wood, and there's no halachas of truma, there's no halachas of tumas ochlim. It's no longer food. So you see from this that shma mina limituke taima avdi la shma mina. You see that it was to sweeten it, because the whole point of the Mishnah here is that the sheves gives, this sheves vegetable gives a certain taste to the kedera, and then it loses its status as a vegetable, and it no longer has halachas of truma and tumas ochlim, and clearly it's sweetening, and therefore that's the halacha over here. It's going to create a bracha in this cooked water of a borei pri adama. Amar Rav Chia bar Ashi says, Pas tzenuma b'ka'ara mevarchen aleh hamotzi. If you have this bread, this is like a hard or dried out bread which they put in a bowl and they soaked it in a bowl, the halacha is it still has the status of bread and you make a hamotzi. Upliga de Rabbi Chia, but this argues in Rabbi Chia. The Amar Rabbi Chia, because Rabbi Chia said, Tzarach shetichle bracha im hapas. The bracha needs to be finished with the bread. Rashi explains the question over here as follows: Tzarach shetichla birachas hamotzi im prisas haprusa. You have to make a hamotzi when you are at the same time that you're slicing the bread min hapas, from the bread. You have to be slicing it. So you have a whole piece of bread, a whole loaf, and as you're slicing, you should make hamotzi. V'hai paras v'omidhu. But here, in this case, it's already sliced. So Rabbi Chia here is arguing that you should not be making a hamotzi on bread which is already sliced. It should only be making it while you're slicing. So Maskef lo Rava asked, Ma'ishnat snuma delo mishum dechikalya bracha prusa kakal. He says he doesn't understand. What's the difference by snuma where you're making a bracha and it's already sliced and that's problematic? Alapas nami kika gamra prusa gamra. But according to what we just said, by bread also, even on a whole loaf of bread, if you're saying the bracha while you're slicing the bread, it's also going to be that you're going to finish the bracha when it's a slice. So he doesn't understand the distinction between making a bracha on already sliced bread and making a bracha on bread as you are slicing it. And the Gemara will continue on on Daf Lamed Tes Amud Beis to address this question.